Love sports? Love culture? Well, I've got a brand new podcast called Take Line from Crooked Media, hosted by me, Jason Concepcion, and two-time WNBA champion Renee Montgomery. From the games to the players to the issues happening both on and off the court, we'll be tackling the important political and social issues happening in sports head on. New episodes drop every Tuesday, so follow and subscribe on radio.com, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, this is BJ. Thanks for listening to our show's podcast. If you're a fan of all things geeky, you should check out my other podcast, BJ Shea's Geek Nation. We have new episodes every day, and you can check it out at bjgeeknation.com.
Your driver's license is important so you can get back and forth to work, get your kids to school, and back and forth to daycare. If your license has been suspended because you can't pay your tickets, you can't do any of those things. Let's talk about Chapter 13 bankruptcy. You may have heard that tickets cannot be discharged, but they can be dealt with in a Chapter 13 case. Why not come in for a free consultation? The chapter you choose will make all the difference to your getting back legally on the road. Let's design a plan to pay off your tickets and restore your license immediately. I'm attorney Travis Gagne. Please contact me today at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle. This is a really, really bad story. And all because of a stupid new trend that's out there. Gender reveal parties. If we didn't have these, Steve, this would not have happened. And Dennis Dickey would not be out $8 million.
Mr. Dickey.
Mr. Dickey's an off-duty. He was an off-duty patrol agent, threw a reveal party for his family and his friends, but he ended up igniting a wildfire that spread to the Coronado National Forest in Arizona. Yeah, this is, and here's why. Because he started off, he's got to pay a $100,000 initial payment. They're like, dude, you got to pay this and then make payments pretty much for the rest of your friggin' life, up to $8 million. And he pleaded guilty Friday.
Well, kid's not going to college.
Yeah. That's a sad thing, man. He pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor violation of U.S. Forest Service regulations for igniting the sawmill fire, according to statements. He agreed to a sentence of 5 years probation and will make public service announcements with the Forest Service about the cause of the blaze.
Hey, kids, I'm a moron.
Yeah.
Don't do what I did. Otherwise, it will cost you $8 million.
This all happened last year when Dennis's plan was to shoot a rifle at a target containing tannerite, which is a highly explosive substance that would have exploded to reveal either blue powder for a boy or pink powder for a girl. Dickey shot the target, it did explode, and then started that fire that, of course, spread and then resulted in a wildfire.
Stupid Dickey.
47,000 acres lost.
Wow.
Yeah. Firefighters from at least 20 agencies fought that fire for about a week.
So I'm starting to really understand why he owes all that money. Think about all that manpower, and then the damage alone is probably a pretty penny, but then you got all these people working week-long trying to contain it.
And he did admit to starting the fire. I mean, I'll give him credit for that. And last night, Conan was joking about this dude.
In Arizona, a couple's gender reveal party for their baby accidentally set off a wildfire that destroyed 47,000 acres and cost $8 million in damages. On the bright side, it's a girl.
Yeah, I actually was wondering that.
Oh, man.
Why didn't the story tell us?
Yeah, now we know.
Wow. And that girl knows her father's a moron.
That doesn't happen if not for gender reveal parties. I mean, 15 years ago, he doesn't even think of doing that.
Why do you have to go that extreme? Don't you think that there's a chance of, I mean, I guess hindsight's 20/20, but don't you think maybe I shouldn't go to this extreme to let people know that I have a daughter?
See, there are people that are, they're so used to stuff like firearms, explosives. It just doesn't occur to them that I should be safer. Sometimes they say the person with the most knowledge about something is actually the most dangerous than someone who's a noob and doesn't know anything. Because the noob will go, what could go wrong here?
Let me go do a giant troubleshooting checklist.
Yeah.
And he's like, screw it, let me shoot it.
Yeah, I mean, this guy, obviously, tannerite, I don't even know what the hell that stuff is, so he knew how to go get it, and he was able to put it in some sort of target that would blow up and make blue powder. This guy knew what he was doing. He knew how to fire a rifle because he shot it and hit it.
Like one person's like, what gender is fire orange? I believe that's a redhead. They're having a redhead.
They're having a redhead. How about this? Again, because of stupid people, we got another thing going on. Scientists are calling for no selfie zones because of this incredible number of what they call selficides that have been revealed in this new study.
We were talking, granted, on the risk of dying in this situation, but we were at the Puyallup Farmers Market over the weekend, and there was 3 different instances where somebody just practically walked right into us. Had we not moved out of the way or made a loud noise so that they looked up from their phone, they would have just walked straight into myself, my wife, or our puppy. And I was just like, man, I'm a slave to my phone like most of us, but you got to keep your eyes out for things, especially when you're in a big gathering of people.
Dude, I was at Bellevue Square, and there's a place that the Tavern Grill, I think it's called. It basically connects you to the bridge that will take you over to Lincoln Square. But anyway, there's this. So this dude's walking, and there's an entrance, and then there's a giant plate of glass window, and he thought it was an entrance, but he was on his phone. He walked right into. I was looking at him. I was watching him, and he and I were walking basically side by side, but I was making the adjustment because I wasn't on my phone. He kept walking in the direction of this giant window, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to slow down because I was at a quicker pace. I said, I think I know what's about to happen.
I want to witness this.
Oh, and he just right into it, baby. And then he was like,
that happens more than just that one time.
I love his line. His line was, oh, that's not a door. I go, yeah, I think we all get that that now that's not a door there, Jimmy the Genius.
I wonder if the surveillance footage shows how, you could put together an awesome montage video of all the people walking into doors because they're on their cell phone.
Yeah, it's bad. It really, really is bad, especially when it's crowded mall time, shopping season. And then you go, dude, you can't do that. You can't be looking at your phone and walking in a crowded place. You just can't.
One person says, when someone dies taking a selfie, that's just a problem solving itself.
Yeah, between 2011 and 2017, at least 259 people were accidentally killed while taking selfies all over the world.
What?
But here's the thing. The thing is that there's one country that has more deaths than pretty much anybody else. Like half of these selfie deaths take place in one country. You know what? No, United States is number 3. But again, like I said, out of the 259 of these, like 260, 130 took place in India. Oh, of all places, India.
Definitely not Canada.
No,
too busy drinking coconuts and playing hockey.
Pakistan comes in at number 4. So, I mean, in India and Pakistan, of course, close to each other like that. So it's like, what's going on with these two countries that they can't figure it out? And of course, the United States and Russia, we're number 3, Russia's number 2. But even still, we had nowhere near the number of selfie deaths that India had. India had half of that 259.
Wow.
Yeah. And
Is it just not safe to walk around there in general? Maybe like that, adding the walking on a cell phone, that just adds to the danger?
The most common deaths were drowning.
Hopefully not in the sea of excrement.
There you go.
I would swim a sea of human excrement.
There you go.
Yes.
Slumdog Millionaire. If you haven't seen the movie, you don't know what the hell we're talking about, but it's a pretty horrific scene in that movie.
One text says the best one still is when the lady was on her cell phone and she fell into a fountain.
I saw the mall. That's the classic.
Then the other one that's a classic is the lady that fell into, in the sidewalks when they have those things that, open up whatever the frick they're called.
Manholes?
Kinda, I don't know. What are the things? The doors.
It's like a hole? I don't know.
Yeah, it's like a freight elevator with the door.
Yeah, and so one of those was open and somebody was on their cell phone.
The thing with the thing.
And they fell in the hole.
And walked into that's not good.
One person says, they said, basically, I'll let people walk right into me and then I'll completely shame them. Screw it. Pay attention. Dude, there was one guy walking, and I see this too much, and I don't know why. When it involves kids, it bothers me even more. He had one of those backpacks that has a kid in it.
Yeah.
And the kid's being a kid, it's a baby, it's just there. And the guy's on his cell phone not paying attention. He was one of the guys that almost walked into us. I'm like, not walking into us is annoying, but what if you trip because you're not paying attention and then your baby just flies out of that damn backpack?
Dude, that's a good point. Wow, they're doing that now?
Bro, people are on their phones while they're pushing their strollers.
That's not good.
I think if you've got a kid and you're handling a child, the cell phone should not be in your hand.
And they don't get it, Steve, because you and I are from a different generation. Their generation has always had these things in their hand for the most part, and they think you're an idiot.
What about Dan? He's got a young kid. Little Lily?
Yeah. Hey, go on, Daddy. What about you? Huh?
When you're with your child, especially when she was a lot younger, now I think, she's still young, obviously, but were you playing on your cell phone while you're supposed to be looking at your kid?
No, it stays in my pocket, honestly, because she is a lot to handle in terms of like crying and stuff, especially now. Like, she's usually on my cell phone now that she's older, but when she was a baby, it would stay in my pocket or my backpack.
Didn't she accidentally post on the KISW Snapchat once?
Yes, she did.
Yeah. She knows our Snapchat.
Good old Lily.
Have Lily takeovers on our KSW Snapchat.
It's a good idea.
We probably should, actually.
That'd be incredible.
It was hilarious because I don't have my own Snapchat, but I have it always logged onto the station one. And she, all of a sudden, I log on. I'm like, she's going, rawr, rawr. And I was like, oh, please tell me she didn't send it. Yeah, she sent it to all of our listeners.
Perfect. We need that.
We need Lily takeovers.
Lily takeovers on
right.
Snapchat.
Toddler takeover. Let's do it.
Absolutely. I'll have Lulu takeover one time, too.
Again, that was not what we said.
Can Carl take over?
Absolutely.
No, again.
Oh, sweet. Damn it, Carl takeovers.
No, there's no
It could be a
animal
Snapcat.
takeover. Kids are cute.
Snapcat.
Yeah.
I still have the video of her on Snapchat, and then I made Steve do one too.
I forgot I even did that.
Steve's is awesome. He's just
Well, that's Lily.
no, that's you.
Oh.
Well, I mean, at the time, I think you're both bald, so it would
Yeah.
She's
That's
a
me?
leader. No, that's her.
Well, it's hard to tell the two. You guys really are amazing. Yeah. Yeah. Drowning,
posting that?
Yeah.
people hit by traffic, people falling. Those pretty much most of the deaths when that's all. Some people were electrocuted. Some people get killed by animals while taking these selfies. Yeah, self-aside.
What are you doing? You at a zoo and you just inadvertently walk into the place where the tigers are?
Maybe or out in the wild.
Yeah, I was thinking hiking or something. I mean, we've got the aggressive goats in the Olympics, so.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that you go, okay, dude, that animal's way too close for comfort. Didn't we see a recent YouTube video where somebody was like showing a bear behind them and like, why are you not running as opposed to taking this stupid video? Because that bear, if I can see that bear in your video, then they're really close to you.
Well, he wanted to get a good selfie.
Yeah, that's what he wanted. Yeah. So there you go, buddy. All right, I have a story that I have been pumping for the longest time in my life, and now economists at the University of Oxford in England. Hello.
Is it about circumcision?
No, it is not about circumcision. And just because I used the word pumping. Jesus. Sorry, Steve started it. No, this is a study that says that we'd all be better workers if we always had 3-day weekends.
Let's do it.
I'm saying.
Who's against this? I guess business owners.
Yeah.
They have to make money.
It's, you know what? We really have to change how we look at what we do in work, because the way we work now, it's not like it was 100 years ago where you're working in the fields and a lot of manual labor, which is good for the body to get the exercise and all that. But a lot of the jobs we have now aren't really physical. So therefore, it's more stressful and mental, and we shouldn't be doing that as much as we are as far as the amount of days we do it. So, I think a 3-day work week, a 3-day weekend would be fantastic, so you could get some physicality back into your life and reduce the thinking and stressing.
Or more importantly, you can catch up on all the shows you have DVR'd.
Well, I can get that.
That's mental strength.
Yeah, that's I get that in. You know that. Yeah, one quote says, "I would argue the 4-day work week is spot on in striking that right balance between improving the work-life balance and unlocking productivity gains."
I have a handful of buddies that do work the 410s. A couple guys in Boeing and a couple guys that do other stuff as well. They do 4 days a week and then get the 3-day weekend. And honestly, you can tell they're at it, like when one of my buddies had to switch back to 5 days a week, and his attitude changed drastically. Like you could just see he just wasn't feeling whatever it was like in life. Like he just had this certain energy that was gone, because he always looked forward. He's like, oh yeah, I could do whatever. Like we could get together on Fridays for lunch. We could do this. Like it just seemed like he was in a better mindset.
Yeah.
And then when he went to the 5 days a week with his job, it was more of a bummer. I never heard him complain that he was working 10 hours a day, but I heard him complain that he had to work 8 hours a day for 5 days a week, which I thought was interesting.
And the thing is, aren't a lot of people working 10 hours a day anyway?
For the most part, I don't know. It seems like most people are working more than 10 hours a day.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking to a dude that worked for a big company telling me about that he had 50-plus work weeks, 50-hour work weeks at least, and he was actually the guy that worked less. Like there were
the old
people
510s.
Yeah, he was doing the old 5-10s, and there were people doing 60, 70-hour work weeks. So, I mean, we are completely just, we're messing people up. And then we wonder why society is so miserable. Why is it that society is so, right now, just divisive and not civil to each other? I argue that we are overworked, and it is somebody's master plan to control us this way, keep us overworked and keep us pissed. Therefore, we can be manipulated by whatever the hell they want to do.
And persons have 3-day weekends, and it's freaking awesome from a Microsoft employee.
Yeah. Damn, dude. And by the way, they're saying because...
What would you rather off if you had to pick? Would you rather it be the Friday or the Monday?
Ooh, boy, that's a tough one.
Can we do it seasonal? I think during football season, I would like the Mondays off. And then for the rest of the time, I would want Fridays off.
Okay.
That's my vote. Because summertime, Fridays.
I like that.
I like it.
Go visit Danny in West Seattle. We hang out at Alki Beach, eat some pizza.
Yes.
He serves us beer.
Yeah.
I don't know why you're my cocktail waitress when I visit you, but I feel like you would be.
I'll take it, yeah. I'll even wear the dress.
Okay.
Hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that having some sort of choice like that would be awesome. You know, maybe there aren't football fans and don't want that Monday off, but yeah.
Oh, poor baby, you got Monday off.
Well, I'm just saying, if you want to take a Friday off, Jesus, I mean,
Wow, that was a little aggressive there, Steve.
sorry, jeez, I mean, we're all getting to do what we want to do, buddy.
I'm stuck in my ways.
Yeah. They're saying that 4-day work week, we would accomplish more. Because of having 3 days off, we would do more in 4, 10-hour days than we would do in 5 8-hour days. That would actually be better workers. That's the other reason they're saying, you'll get more done. You'll be better for your company. Give people 3-day weekends.
I see that because you would have the momentum and like the rhythm. You're in that work mind state. State where you're just like, okay, let me finish this. Let me finish this. I've got that mojo going. I might as well crush these other things I'm supposed to do that I could have done tomorrow. But hey, since I'm already in that mindset, let me do it.
Yeah, get her done.
Yes, get her done, Larry.
Get her done. Yeah, I'm. You know what? You and I agree on this, which is really surprising. We never agree on anything.
Nice, except the Friday or Mondays.
Oh yeah, that's right. Well, we knew we'd have a fight over it. Hey, are you currently committing a crime and you don't even know that you're doing it? Well, I'll tell you if you are. At 8:17 on The Rock.
BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle. Over 150,000 people took an online poll about small crimes everyone commits. And we got the stats for you. And wondering, okay, we'll see around the room how many we have done.
All right.
Okay.
I'm going to say yes.
All of them. To all of
them. Number one. Well,
I'm going to get 69% of these, I bet.
Hey, look at you, buddy. Here's the thing. The number one thing, I don't know, it's Seattle especially because, I mean, we all did this in the Northeast, but in Seattle, it's a biggie. And maybe in other parts of the country, too. I just noticed it so much more when I moved here. Jaywalking.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You know who has probably never? Well, we made him commit the crime because we were drunk in Vegas and we forced him to cross the street illegally with us. His Uncle Chris. He is vehemently opposed to jaywalking.
It's so funny how people here will not do that. Like it's amazing where I see people. Some will do it, and a lot of them will still stay and wait for that stop sign, even though other people are walking.
I find myself jaywalking less and less the longer I've lived here, though. There are times where I'm thinking about my old version of myself.
Yeah.
Where as soon as there's no cars, or sometimes if there are cars, it's time to play Frogger and work around them. Nowadays, sometimes I just stand there at the light waiting for the walk sign.
Isn't that something how that's happened? Yeah, well, if you don't have to be in a rush, what's the point?
Life of crime really wasn't for me, BJ.
That's a good point. Yeah, you had to stop.
There's some places that don't really have any walk signs, like where I used to park when I worked in Ballard. Yeah, well, exactly.
Yeah.
Like I would find a parking spot that was kind of far off, and there was no lights or stops, anything nearby, so I had to jaywalk.
Oh, look at you criminal.
Yep.
Well,
has anyone ever been pulled over for jaywalking?
No.
Yes.
No.
Yeah, you have. That's
really?
Right. I remember that.
Of course you would.
I didn't get a ticket, but I was pulled over.
You got a warning?
I did get a warning, and only because I was a good dude, because I was wearing a Red Sox jersey going to I don't know if they're still open, but it was a Boston pizzeria in Everett, and the dude pulled me over.
I don't think that place is open anymore.
Yeah, it was a long time ago when this happened. And I was there with Joey D's, and we thought, hey, we wear our Red Sox paraphernalia, we're going to go watch the Sox game there because he had it on, and the guy pulls me over, and I'm just like, oh, I better be cool because part of me was like, am I really getting stopped? There was nobody on the road. And I'm like, so the dude's going to pull me over for jaywalking when there's no cars. I had that totally Northeast attitude.
You're like, don't you have a meth house to bust?
Yeah, that was in my head, but I thought, you know what? If it comes out my mouth, I will get a ticket.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Yeah, so I just was like, sorry, man. You're right.
I'm just a stupid Red Sox fan.
And that's kind of what I had to say. And he let me go, but I did get pulled over. 90% of us have jaywalked.
But I says, come to Bainbridge Island. People stand in the middle of the road having a conversation. Ugh. I don't mind people jaywalking, but when you start looking like almost like you're having a stare down with the vehicle that's coming your way, I'm not saying you should get hit, but boy, oh boy, do you deserve to be terrified for a second.
Yeah, you're stupid.
Just come on, man.
Yeah, you're stupid. You're never going to win. Even if you're in the right, the car hitting you makes you a loser. So don't ever let yourself get hit by a car, even if you're in the right.
Like if I'm jaywalking, I'm speed walking. I always hate when people are jaywalking and they're kind of like strutting like Ric Flair, and they're just kind of like taking their time and they're looking at you like, yeah, you got to slow down for me. And it's like, why are we playing this game? Yeah. Just cross the damn street. Yeah, you're not cool.
The one I hated was my old roommate, whether it was jaywalking or just crossing the street, like when it's not your turn to walk but you still go because cars aren't really coming, he would never look both ways. He would just go. And I'm like, dude, there's a car coming, and he's like, well, it's their responsibility to stop.
Does he have a death wish?
I'm like, what? Like, what if they hit you? Yeah, you could sue them, but what's the point?
Yeah, you're the one that got hit by the 2,000-pound vehicle.
Yeah,
you have no legs anymore, moron.
So he'd be there, strutting his stuff, and I'd be running.
Yeah.
So Uncle Chris is the only one of our show that's a non-jaywalker.
Yeah.
I bet he has when he's drunk.
No, dude.
No?
He was morally conflicted when BJ and I jaywalked.
And he was drunk at the time.
Right.
Damn.
Yeah.
And then we made him do it, and it put him in a sour mood for an extended period of time until we got him more alcohol. And then he forgot. Yeah.
How about rolling through a stop sign?
Yeah. I try to be better about that, but what do they call that? The California stop?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, I'm a master of the California stop. Again, if I think there's nobody around, it's early or late, it's like, okay, I'll slow down just to be sure no one's coming in case I can stop if all of a sudden I see somebody. But yeah, only half of us say we've done this.
I find myself doing the rolling stop if I'm turning a certain direction at a stop sign. Yeah. But if I'm going straight, I usually stop full because I don't know what's coming.
What a guy you are.
Yeah, see, I don't like to do it. The only time I'll do it is if the roads are icy and I don't want to lose momentum.
There's a
yeah. When the roads are slippery, let me not stop when I'm supposed to.
Let me not stop fully.
Yeah, so that way if I slam on my brakes as I realize I have to stop, then I will slide into you.
Usually there's lights and I can see. I time
those
it out.
people, I'm barreling over. No big deal.
Don't worry about that.
Yeah, there's a hill in West Seattle on Charleston Street, whatever, and it's so steep that when you're coming down it, it's literally impossible not to roll stop through it because you're already going so fast. It's like you're going to slam on your brakes. It's scary to stop or not roll stop.
Or you could just have your brakes on a good amount of the time while you're going down that hill.
Right?
No. Yeah, that's kind of what you're supposed to do.
I'm just saying it's really hard to do either of those.
Or go in a lower gear if you want to be like Mr. That Guy.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. That Guy. The good driver.
Yeah. How about speeding? Everybody speeds, right?
Don't speed.
Everybody speeds.
Cruise control right at 60. Not sure what your ties are talking about. Didn't get pulled over a few weeks ago for speeding.
How about 1 in 3 of us actually in this survey said they've never broken the speed limit?
Dude, I know people.
I refuse to believe that.
I know people, and I've witnessed it firsthand being in their car. And it's like, you ever have that moment where you're sitting passenger and you're hitting the pretend accelerator on there that's not there for you, a pedal? You're like, dude, you're that guy.
He's that guy.
Come on. Go 62. Break the law.
Do they at least stay in the right lane, or do they go
middle-ish? But they never go into the full far lane.
Okay, then okay. I can't hate them too much.
You got to go with the flow of traffic. Even the police officers will tell you, as long as you're going with the flow of traffic. And it's sad, but if you think you're going the speed limit, but everybody's going further and faster than you, you're not going with the flow of traffic at that point. Or you should be in the right lane. I mean, it's just one of those things, man. But wow, 1 in 3 say they've never done it. How about this? Have you ever used someone else's Wi-Fi without their permission?
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Probably.
Especially in the earlier days when it's first started, I got a computer that had a wireless thing, and someone in the apartment had that, and I was too broke to afford cable or internet or anything along those lines at the time. And I'm like, if I just hit this button, I can play on the internet. And this is back when the internet was still slow.
Yeah.
But it was awesome.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I wouldn't do it, though.
Yeah, I don't think I ever did because that was something I always prioritized in my life. I always wanted Wi-Fi. As soon as I could get the internet, I would have the internet.
See, I'd be too worried to get on somebody's Wi-Fi if it's open. Either they're really dumb or they're hackers and they're waiting for me to get on. Like, I don't know why. I just think that they're going to hack into my computer the second I log in.
Good call. Because I would. If all of a sudden I was running slow, my game was running slow, I'd immediately go into my hacker software and go, who's stealing my Wi-Fi? Oh, it's that Victoria. Good. We're going to just hack her accounts. Now she's wanted.
Someone just going back to the whole stop sign thing. Danny, just take Charleston at 50 miles per hour like I did in high school.
I probably would do that, except I did the same thing on a big hill in Albuquerque, and we flipped the car twice. And
that's right.
Lesson
I'm
learned.
Scared of those, yeah.
They have hills in Albuquerque?
Oh, yeah.
Wow. I don't think I realized that. That was pretty flat out there.
They have mountains.
They have air.
They have air, too?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And dirt.
What?
And Dion's Pizza, it's fantastic.
Oh,
come on.
You're welcome.
He's done. How about this? And again,
Somebody launched their truck off of Charleston. Apparently Charleston's the place to be.
Charleston's the joint. Have you ever pirated music or illegally downloaded a movie?
Yep.
Nope.
LimeWire.
Yep. Napster.
Nope.
No, never, Steve, huh?
I never illegally downloaded music. I've downloaded live bootlegs.
Okay.
But I've never, and even that I felt a little weird, but I never downloaded a band's record. I always purchased it, or nowadays I do it through the streaming, which I still kind of feel like if I really like a record, I'll buy it just because I want to give the artist the money. But movies, obviously my mom had a thing with the hairdresser in Brooklyn where she would get these copies of certain movies ahead of time. So I've been guilty of watching them.
Yeah.
I never did it, though.
I've done that with TV shows, and then eventually I realized, I guess I'm pirating because I just watched this for free and I don't know how I got to do it. I would justify it saying these are shows in another country that I can't get here.
I like that we have all these stipulations.
Yeah, but that's how I used to get angry. I want to watch this show. I would pay to watch this show, but no one will let me do it because I'm in a different country. So I'm going, well, F that then. I'll just go to the BitTorrent. What else am I going to do?
See, mine was I was a broke teenager and I couldn't afford the music, but I saw the best meme. It said something like, going on those sites, LimeWire, Napster, was the equivalent of having unsafe sex with the internet.
Oh, God, it was.
Because all the viruses you could get.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Surrounded by people with chlamydia.
Yeah. Not me. Especially when you do porn. I never did music, but I did a lot of porn from LimeWire.
Yeah.
Well, even nowadays, I mean, if you read sometimes those certain adult film stars that will go off on people who watch things on like those free thumbnail sites.
Oh, really?
XNXXs and all those other YouPorn, because they're not making a dime off of that. That's technically you're illegally streaming. I don't know if it's illegal or not. Maybe it is or isn't. But for those adult film stars, they're not making money off of it. So in a way, you're stealing from them.
Yeah. Well, how is it then that the porn hubs are able to have those?
It's a wild, wild west when it comes to porn, probably.
I guess.
A little bit, in a weird way, I'm sure.
But they've been in business a long time. You'd think somebody would have shut Pornhub down if, in fact, they were taking that stuff illegally.
But maybe some of those videos are done by companies that aren't around anymore. You know what I mean?
Or very interesting.
Yeah, I don't know, but I remember seeing a few adult film stars like on Twitter and on other sites, like pissed at people. And if someone came up and said that they watched their videos on that, they would go off on that person. You realize you're stealing from me.
Oh, wow.
Which is always an awkward conversation when you want to talk to somebody about their boobs.
Yeah. I didn't realize that. That's so bizarre that's something because the other ones were like dark web. In order to go where you had to go to these torrent sites, you just knew you were like Sketchmo McGee.
It's kind of like YouTube in the fact that they can report those things and they'll be taken down at the request of the company or the people. So I've read that you can do that with the YouTube, the YouPorn, and all of those different ones as well.
Well, then that's exactly what they should be doing.
Yeah.
One texter has it right. That's why you watch amateur porn. LOL.
Mm-hmm. Good point.
You're not stealing from anybody.
No, you're not. How about this? Pretty much 80% of us, by the way, have illegally done that stuff, downloaded a movie or music. 20% say they've used someone else's Netflix account without their knowledge.
It's like 90% of people in this room.
We all have knowledge.
Without their knowledge.
You're right.
Yeah, we know
permission.
Somebody's like, hey, I have Bill's or I have BJ's Netflix user info here, use it. And then you don't know that Vicky's best friend is using your
party
Netflix.
passing it on.
You guys aren't doing that, are you?
No, but it was one of those times when somebody was using one of my accounts from Vicky's house, and a new account popped up onto my, I think it was my Hulu or my Netflix, and I was like, "Do you know this person?" And she was like, "Oh yeah, it was my roommate."
It was the new roommate. He thought it was my Hulu account, so he made a thing on his. So I'm like, dude, I totally made him feel really bad. It's like, dude, his wife is freaking out on him. Like, why did you do that?
And we were just confused. confused. I was like, I don't know who this person is.
You don't make even. I'm using your account, and I just use Vicky's. I don't.
Yeah.
I didn't make a new account because I just feel like that's not my place to make a new account.
He didn't know that it wasn't because on our
sure he
Netflix,
didn't.
our house Netflix that we had at the time, we each had our own individual one. So he thought Hulu was the same thing.
You guys.
You know what I've done? It's not. For anyone that does audio editing, they probably notice it. It's now called Adobe. Like Photoshop, they use Adobe, but it used to be Cool Edit, and there was this one version called Cool Edit that everybody was able to steal on the internet, like through Napster or whatever. I still have the CD, and
I have it too.
Still to this day on my Microsoft Surface, I've put this version of Cool Edit. It's just an audio editing software that we use still to this day here at the station, but we just use the updated version. But really, if I'm doing basic editing, it doesn't matter. This version does it. Well, the guy who it's registered under is this guy Peter Quigstart or something like that.
Quistguard or something. Yeah.
And I always thought, maybe a few people have this. Turns out there's like a Facebook fan page for this guy because so many people have used his version of Cool Edit, and they've created he's almost like this weird god of audio editing because everybody has used his thing, and so there's a fan site, there's
that's amazing.
Whoever this guy is probably gets free drinks for life anytime he goes anywhere that's like a radio convention, an audio editing convention. If he's like, hey, I'm Peter Q.
Yeah, I'm the guy that gave you Cool Edit.
Yes, it's so funny. I thought, maybe one of a few. It's like a little secret. No, it's like the world's worst kept secret. So that's very criminal, I would imagine.
A little bit. I would say, if you've got a Facebook fan page of all the people that have the your software license.
The Peter.
Oh, yeah. There he is.
Fan
Peter
club.
Q. There he is. Wow. That is insane. How many? Oh, you got a lot of members on there.
No, 500, but it's still funny.
500 is a lot. I mean, considering that this is one guy's license.
He is Peter Quistguard. He is you and me. He is all of us. He walks among us.
It's very V for Vendetta-like. How about this? Have you ever snuck a double feature when you paid for a movie at a theater?
Yeah.
No.
I remember when we were kids, we wanted to see Toxic Avenger, but it wasn't PG-13 or PG or whatever. It was probably PG-13. I was underage. So we went and saw the movie Rad, the BMX bicycling movie, and then snuck into Toxic Avenger.
Nice.
I've done that where they've told me a movie is sold out. So I'll buy a ticket to another movie, and then I'll just get right into that theater.
Then you're screwing someone over who paid for a ticket.
Yeah, you know that.
I would never do that.
Dude,
even I wouldn't do that.
I know, I did that. I only done it once because I wanted to see, I remember it was quite a thing. I wanted to see the movie A Fifth Element, and I thought, you know what? What are they going to do?
So you were an adult when you did this?
Yes, I was.
Wow.
I really wanted to see it. I couldn't believe it was sold out. I was like, are you kidding me? It's sold out, really?
Imagine being that person. You walk into the theater, you buy your ticket, and then all of a sudden you look around, you're like, there's not a single seat for me to sit in.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's BJ eating his popcorn.
You don't know it's me.
That's right.
You don't know what's going on.
That's a jerk move.
But they get a free movie. I figured they go back and tell the guys, look, there's no seats in there. What am I going to do?
What if they got babysitters? And what if they had to move all their scheduling around just to be able to see this movie?
You're absolutely right. And in hindsight, it was a douche move. But in my defense, I didn't care about people then.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
What movie was it for again?
A Fifth Element. It was back in '97.
Well, at least it's a movie you liked.
Yeah, exactly. And I was again, I didn't care about people. So there you go. Oh gosh, I was 37 years old when I did that.
Yeah, you jerk.
Grown man.
Yeah, that was old.
That doesn't help your cause.
No, it doesn't at all. God.
You weren't even like in your 20s.
No, I wasn't. No, I wasn't, was I?
Nope.
Whoops.
So he says, I once sold my iPad and I forgot to take Netflix off of it. And the guy that bought it made an account on my Netflix from Crash in Tacoma.
Oh, that's awesome.
He's like, sweet, free Netflix.
Underage drinking. Who's done it?
Yep. Really underage drinking.
Really?
Twice in my entire... yeah, I didn't do it a lot.
But Vicky and Danny,
No,
not
I
at
did
all.
it like 3 times. And once was in Europe, so I don't count that.
I'm excited. I'm excited that I did it because I don't think that's me, and yet I was kind of hardcore.
Yeah, I didn't have my first drink until I was 22.
Damn,
22.
Yeah.
So even the 21 year, which is the year you didn't do it?
No, I wasn't. Drinking wasn't. I was like actually really against drinking in high school because I was like, and all my friends were like, "We need a drink," and then I was like, "No, I don't want to do that," and so I just never
punk
did.
of you.
I know.
Yeah.
I was so
Good Charlotte sang about awesome alcohol, then you probably would have drank.
Probably if they would have had their beer back then, I would have been like, yeah. No, but no, yeah, 22 years old and but never underage drink ever.
Wow. Yeah, my little small crew of guys, like, I mean, for the most part, in high school, we weren't really drinkers. And I mean, we all tried it at one point, like, let's get it, we got beers. And we tried, and we're like, this is nasty. So then we never touched beer again until we realized, like, after a few of them, they actually get starting to taste delicious and they make you feel good. But, you know, at the time, like, this is gross.
Make you feel good.
Yeah. That's how all alcohol starts.
See, I pulled a Steve and I just drank Malibu straight from the bottle. But I didn't do it crying or anything. It was 4th of July and we were on a class trip.
It was a college relationship. It ended poorly, and the only alcohol I had was Malibu coconut rum.
Good job, buddy.
Man, I'm so heartbroken. But it smells good.
Oh, Malibu. Straight. Ugh, just guzzling that.
Yucky.
Dude, in theory, it seems like it would be delicious.
In theory.
The bottle's cool looking. It almost looks like a big, frosty pina colada.
Yeah. Nope. Yesterday,
Yeah.
Steve, Mr. Malibu, he did get this one wrong.
What does the car assistance company AAA stand for?
American Automotive Awesomeness.
No.
Live.
No.
American Automobile A-holes.
No.
Do you remember it?
No.
Nice.
Alliance.
No.
Nope.
Association.
Yeah, that's it.
Good job, buddy.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah. You want a shot at beating Steve? Yeah, you got it. 206-421-ROCK. We're playing Beat Miggs at 847 on The Rock.
Today's podcast was brought to you by Travis Gagne, bankruptcy attorney. He's here right now and has agreed to answer more of your questions about bankruptcy. How do I figure out who my creditors are?
People a lot of times have had a long time of not having good credit and having collections, and so they're concerned that you may be concerned that you won't be able to find all your creditors if you file bankruptcy. How will I know which collection agency has my credit card bill from 10 years ago now? And that's something that's hard to keep track of because credit collection agencies transfer your debts all over the place. But we will pull all your credit bureaus, and by getting all 3 of your credit bureaus, we'll be able to tell who has your credit and debt now, which collection agencies have had it in the past, and we'll make sure that we file all your creditors when we file your bankruptcy so that nothing slips through the cracks.
Thanks, Travis. If you have more questions about bankruptcy, you can reach out to Travis anytime at ChooseTheRightChapter.com. That's ChooseTheRightChapter.com. Thanks for listening.
Love sports? Love culture? Well, I've got a brand new podcast called Take Line from Crooked Media, hosted by me, Jason Concepcion, and 2-time WNBA champion Renee Montgomery. From the games to the players to the issues happening both on and off the court, we'll be tackling the important political and social issues happening in sports head on. New episodes drop every Tuesday, so follow and subscribe on radio.com, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.